together as we manage our resource from the source to the ocean. Number 13 says, an urgent need for federal and state ministries responsible for WASH to complete the development stroke review of WASH policy in their states. At the federal level, we have water supply and sanitation policy of 2000, which we believe is due for revision. So we actually started the review. We prepared the concept. We got a sponsor that will provide the funds for the development of WASH policy at the federal level. But unfortunately, the urban reform project will be closing, and it's going to be impossible to complete the review before the closure date. So we are stepping it down right now to put it under the Sustainable Development Project of the World Bank, which will soon start. Presently, about 28 states have developed their WASH policy. So at the federal level, we have water supply and sanitation policy of 2000. It's not that we don't have policy, but that policy is due for revision. Number 14. Number 14 is making free line and prompt release of funds for state WASH in emergency response working group. You recall that sometimes ago, the council took the decision that all states should establish WASH in emergency response team. We didn't know that COVID was coming. It was meant to handle the issues of cholera, the issues of flooding, the issue of drought. But now, COVID has surfaced. The idea behind this was to make states have a ready team, ready that at any time you have flooding issues, you know what is going to resort to all our drinking water, you know what is going to resort to sanitation facilities in that area. Let states make provision readily available so that whenever you have this problem, you will be able to tackle it. It is not when you have flood that you start looking for contractor to supply items A, B, C, and C. It is not when you have flood that you start looking for facilities that you are going to use or set up teams. It's already late because these people they must drink water every day. They must shit. I know so many of us do not like that word. Yes, it is compulsory. You must eat, you must shit. And they are not expected to shit in the open. So they are supposed to have toilets. So what do you do? Is it during the flooding that the state will start running up and down? No, it's already late. So that was the idea behind this, that states should set up that team. A few number of states set up the team, but they were not properly funded. So we now came up with this, with the memo last year, that states should fund the team that they have set up. And unfortunately, there have not been any significant improvement in the funding of WASH in the state. The third item has to do with two key things. We are equally encouraging state governments to consider reforms. It is necessary for especially the water agencies to know that they have to handle issues of sanitation along with water supply. Most of them are set up for water supply, but that is not in line with the integrated water resources management. It has to be wash, water, sanitation, and hygiene. So states are to do that. And USAID was ready to support a number of states to go through their reform. So presently, I think those 5 states are being supported by USAID to carry out the reform. These states are Imo, Taraba, Abia, Niger, and Delta states. They are being supported by USAID under the e-wash program. At the national level, we have done a number of activities with respect to reform. We all know that we have the National Action Plan as the umbrella reform program for WASH. And under this program, we are negotiating for the sustainable WASH finances supported with the World Bank. Again, we are negotiating with Sanitation and Hygiene Fund to provide finance support to a number of states to be selected. We have carried out a number of advocacies to states. This was done by the Honorable Minister, just to encourage the state government to take up the issue of WASH very seriously. We all recall that the President declared the state of emergency on WASH because of the critical situation of WASH in Nigeria. So we equally advise the states to have a state of emergency, to declare a state of emergency in their state in order to have political prioritization for WASH. We expect with this, more attention will be paid to WASH, more resources will be directed to WASH, and at the end of the day, the common man will benefit from such ideas. We have launched the Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet campaign. And the idea behind this is to encourage everybody to own toilets in their homes and use the toilet. So as you are here as my colleagues, I want you to just set your mind back to your village, to your country home. Are your people having toilets to use? Where are they doing it when they are praised? So if your answer is they don't have, please, this December as you go home, please be prepared to construct one. I just pray that so many will not, I hope because of this, many will still go home. And not say because I said they are going to prepare toilets for the people, they may not go home. Please go home, ensure you construct toilet for your family, and come back, you will be well praised. 24 states have fulfilled the National Action Plan criteria for the World Bank assistance. We have 22 states have declared state of emergency for WASH in their states, and 12 number of states have established standing committee for ODF. We equally have that 12 states have their ODF roadmap in place, and ODF campaign have been flagged off in 6 states. Presently, we have 38 local governments that are ODF. Completely, they have resolved to stop the practice of open defecation, and they don't practice it any longer. 38 local governments out of 774 local government. Thank you very much. You remember we started local government in 2016, and today we have 38 local government areas that have stopped the practice. So with this, I think I better stop here. I've seen my MC coming up. Thank you very much.
Okay, so the clapping speaks for itself. Thank you very much, Director of Water Quality. And now we will take the last memo, which the MC will read out.
This is from the Water Resources Planning and Technical Support Service. We're talking of a memorandum on the need for harmonization of effort towards the achievement of sustainable development goal in the water sector. The Deputy Director, I think, Yadela, yes, please come still.
Thank you, the chairperson. Permit me, Ma, to stand on the existing protocol. I am here this afternoon to give progress reports on the action memo was submitted to Council in the National Council on Water Resources in Mina. I am here on behalf of my director to present this memo. Well, following the nation's abysmal performance under the Millennium Development Goal, the MDG, the ministry saw the need to do things differently. And one of the ways to do things differently so that we can have a better result is to initiate a memo which was submitted to Council last year on the need for harmonization of efforts towards the achievement of SDG 6. And before the presentation of memo, some of those activities that took place include the ministry constituting a coordination core team on SDG 6 to ensure that all the activities that are geared towards achieving SDG 6 in the water sector are well coordinated. And in doing that, the core team has moved a step further by organizing a stakeholder engagement workshop, which was held in September in Nasarawa State, to engage with various stakeholders on the development of an action plan and the implementation strategy for the SDG 6. That was done, and for now, some of the activities towards developing the action plan was affected by it, and we can have a robust input into the development of this document. So in the finalization of this action plan and the strategic implementation plan are being finalized. As in addition to this, the department is actually collaborating with relevant departments on the PWASH and the Clean Nigerian program to ensure that these two programs, which are geared towards the achievement of SDGs 6, are being well tracked in terms of the indicators for the SDG 6, as well as performance reporting. So apart from this engagement with the relevant departments that have the responsibility of implementing this program, the ministry is equally working with National Bureau of Statistics as well as UNICEF on the water, sanitation, and hygiene national outcome routine mapping. Briefly known as WASH norm. So, which is to help the ministry track the progress in terms of the indicators as well as the performance reporting on some of the efforts that are being made with respect to the implementation of SDG 6. And still in line with this collaboration effort, the ministry is still engaging with other stakeholders, even at state level, as well as local government level, so that we can have an holistic report in terms of what has been done in the implementation of SDG in the water sector, so that at the end of the day, it will be easy for us to have a national performance report, as well as those indicators that are addressing the issue of SDG 6 in the water sector. So this is the much effort that has been put in place in terms of the activities that will help us to achieve SDG 6 by the year 2030. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think we want to have reaction first. Let us go to the permanent secretary so that he can round up on this.
Okay, thank you very much, Director of Planning. So any reactions to the update? Yes, sir.
The chairperson has stand on existing protocol.
Come, ushers, you need to look at my hand, see who I pointed to. Sorry, sir. After him, then you can.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I want to commend the presentation made by the second to the last speaker. That's the Director of Water Quality Control and Sanitation. Actually, there is a tremendous achievement on that presentation on wash sector, because it happens my state, that's Bauchi State, is one out of the 24 states that declare a state of emergency on wash. And also, one aspect of the assignment he has is after declaring the state of emergency in your state, you have to develop a wash action plan that is peculiar to your state. So, very lucky enough, Bauchi State has developed we develop our wash action plan, which is peculiar to our state. And also, a steering committee was set up for the implementation of that wash action plan by our state governor. And they were given appointment. They were about to be inaugurated. Then suddenly this COVID pandemic came on board. That was the reason why the committee was not inaugurated. I'm the secretary of the steering committee for the implementation of the WASH action plan. Yes, so definitely in that area, there is a great achievement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm Engineer Francis Umemeze, representing Africa Water Association. Please, there is a problem in this harmonization framework or monitoring or coordinating of this wash sector. I know that AFWA has a program to bring into the country sanitation program, which 6 states are benefiting from. And in the process of identifying who is responsible, we discovered that in some states, you have the water board as in charge of water and sanitation. In some states like Abuja, you have sanitation being controlled by environment. In places like Lagos, so there are variations. So you don't know, is it the water agency? Is it the environment? And if this is the case, how can monitoring be done when Federal Ministry of Water Resources is not in control of the institutions in charge? And so, what is being done is the issue of institutional framework in the area of water? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so he will respond to that. And I see one hand. So let's take that as the last, and then he will respond. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So, Planning Department, please respond.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for your interest in the sector. That's to tell you that water is very, very important to life. Everybody is showing concern. Well, to start with the first area of concern, he wants to know what is being done in terms of the institutional framework with respect to WASH. Like I said in my presentation, what the Department of Water Resources, Planning and Technical Support Services is doing is to collaborate with relevant departments. When it comes to the issue of water, sanitation and hygiene, we have two key departments in the ministry, which is the Department of Water Supply, as well as Water Quality Control and Sanitation. So what the Water Resources Planning Department is doing is to actively collaborate with them in order to see what efforts are being made towards the achievement of SDG 6. Now, in terms of institutional framework for WASH, the WASH action plan that was launched contains some of the critical areas of the arrangements for us to work together so that we can see how SDGs can be fully implemented, so that we don't have the experience that we had under the MDG. So I believe what we are doing is to work with the relevant department as well as key stakeholders within the water sector. And like the first speaker observed, he said there is a concern to know which institution is actually responsible, whether with the issue of, is it environment, is it water resources? I tell you, when it comes to the issue of, and there are some cross-cutting issues, no doubt, between the ministry as well as the Ministry of Environment. We are in constant engagement with relevant ministries that have cross-cutting issues with activities that border on water resources development. So when it comes to the issue of water, sanitation, and hygiene, there is no doubt about it that you need to relate with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. If there are any other thing that borders on environment, they will always bring them on board so that we can synergize and ensure that we achieve a common goal for the water sector. Then the second concern is the issue of a national MIE framework. I want to tell you that the Department of Water Resources Planning and Technical Support Services, we are on top of this issue because we know the importance of monitoring and evaluation for you to actually measure performance in the water sector and to interrogate the relevant key performance indicators that you need to report on what we are doing in the water sector. So within in no distant time, I want to say that presently we are working with all the various stakeholders as regards to the issue of developing this MIE framework. So that as soon as, because initially we were working with with the support of the European Union. And the first document that was developed had some setback, which the ministry is trying to do a review. And by the time we have a review and have a robust engagement with the various stakeholders, I believe we are going to come up with a better document that will serve the interests of every stakeholder within the sector. So for now, we are in the process of trying to finalize the MIE framework for the water sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think we're coming to the end. I want to thank everybody, but please let me call on the Permanent Secretary to give us a closing remarks on this.
Thank you, MC. So we've come to the end of the matters arising. And before I give my closing remarks, I would like to crave your indulgence to do just one thing. And what is that? I would like everyone to please stand up. Drop your papers on your chair. I'll also drop the microphone, and then we shall give ourselves a round of applause. Thank you. You may sit down. Thank you. I think that was also some good exercise. So we've come to the end of the technical sessions, and I really want to appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank you for your contributions that have enriched the updates that we have received. I do believe that going forward, we will improve on all the actions that have been taken, those that have been taken, and those that will be taken. I want to thank each and every one of you. I say thank you to the participants, thank you to the directors, thank you to the rapporteurs, thank you to the MC, and to everyone that has made this session a huge success. We shall be breaking out very soon into the subgroups, and for that, I'd like to hand over to the MC to tell us how that would be done. Thank you.
Thank you. I think she deserves a more round of applause. Thank you very much. The Permanent Secretary, members of the High Table, ladies and gentlemen, for the launch arrangement, the Permanent Secretary will lead the others, the High Tables, MDs, directors, and of course, GMs and MDs of the various river water resources corporations that are present here to this inner room. All the others are expected to remain seated. I understand that you'll be served in this particular hall, and of course, including all the chairmen of the various subcommittees. Later on, immediately after the launch, I understand We still have quite a lot to do. The lunch will just be for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And after that, we'll have the follow subcommittees, Committee on Human Resources, and of course, funding for research will be at this hall, present. The next committee on irrigation and agriculture, drainage, will be also in this hall. Then subcommittee on dams, reservoir, and hydropower will also be on this hall. Now, at Ajuji Hotel, we'll have the subcommittee on water supply, quality control, and sanitation will be at Ajuji Hotel. We also have the subcommittee on integrated water resources management, and of course, river basin management. And lastly, but not the least, the hydrology, climate change, and flood management will also be at Ajuji Hotel. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. Well, we saw that, but they will all remain at this venue. Thank you very much. Permanent Secretary Ma, members of the High Table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for this. For staying is quite a very busy day. I wish you a very sumptuous lunch. Thank you very much. Permanent Secretary Ma.